I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest by stenciling out a harvest and storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages, envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe, Uncle Freezy. Your main man, Jay the Chosen One, is in the building. Welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Morning Time show, the Knicks Morning Drive. Y'all know what it is. We coming through to talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. Thank y'all, everybody who's here watching us live. Thank you for everyone that's going to watch this on replay. Man, comment, subscribe, share. Continue to help us grow this community. Jay the Chosen One is in the building. Salute, kind sir. What's good?
Blessed, man. You know what it is. Good to be alive. Good to be a Knicks fan at this moment. Excited about what's coming up. Loving everything going on in the show. Peace to the chat. Just a grateful Knicks fan right now. You know, got a lot of questions though. You know, a couple of questions about the team, but everything else, I'm feeling great. How about
good,
yourself,
man.
sir?
Good, man. I'm excited about what can transpire within the next 7 days. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In the next 7 days, the Knicks can legitimately knock off an artificial rival. Right. We can knock off the Orlando Magic.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks legitimately can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Knicks can win the Emirates Cup, right?
Right.
And at the end of all of that, the Knicks can and may be healthy going into the holidays.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff, brother. Cowboy Bob is in the building. What's good? Brooklyn B is in the building. Salute to everybody watching us on X. And salute to everybody watching us on YouTube. Right? So I have a list of things that I sent in a kite probably a few days ago. I wanted to touch on some of those. But before we do, did you have anything that you wanted to speak with the Knicks community about?
I just wanted to know, you know, where everybody was at with the team. You know, I think it's kind of like early to ask the questions I want to get at, but you know, is everybody as excited about the team as I am right now? You know, as Uncle Freezy is right now? Are there questions? Do you have questions about the team? You know, or particular players themselves? And the little list you just rattled off. How important that is. I mean, that the importance of each thing. How important to you is that? I'm asking the chat that. You know, how important to you is those things that he just said? You know, being the fact that we are on our way to the Emirates Cup championship. We're on our way to beating a team that is a powerful foe, and being healthy for the holidays.
Right.
I think is very important. Many years we weren't. So, that's kind of where I'm at. That's the question I'm tossing out as well. Like, where you at with all this?
I think the chat is in a bunch of different places. I'm going to speak for them, but I also want them to speak for themselves.
Okay.
I think the chat is in a couple places. Of course, place number one, the first place is the Emirates Cup. To a lot of folks is not as important as an NBA title. Right. So first of all, there's that place. Right. The other place is in the matchup against these playoff contenders. They want to see the Knicks win. Right. They want to see the Knicks win. And the thing about winning in this Emirates Cup run-up is not just about winning itself, but how we look when we win, because it goes a lot into establishing the confidence of the Knicks fan base. Right, the Knicks fan base wants to be confident in what they see, so that because the result of that can make things predictable and projectable. Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
In a fan base that's low confidence like we are, we need things to be predictable and projectable, so we'll know how to feel as a fan base. Is that the way that we should approach things? No, but this is real life, bro. Like, we're flesh and blood, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're flesh and blood. We want things to be projectable and predictable, so that we can align our confidence accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think that's how the Knicks fan base feels. Right. Now, maybe it's oversimplifying a feeling. I think it's spot on, based on the responses that I see in the chat and what people tell me all the time. Right.
Right. Look, I couldn't disagree with you at all on any of that, because I feel that, as the everyday fan, let me put it even more, the fan, short for fanatic,
Right.
is somebody who intent love, or intent that they're hanging on every single play, every single move, what we're doing next, everything. So I agree with you that there are certain things there definitely expectations. I do think that something interesting you said of how we go about this cup, how we look in it. And I like to speak power into the world. So when we win the cup, do we care that we win the cup by 5? Do we care that we play, or do we care more that we play our best defense, our best offense? We look smooth. The coach is making the right calls. You know what I mean? And any questions that anybody has about any individual player are answered during this particular moment in time. Because for the players, I believe it means something completely different, obviously, especially to the lower end players. When it comes to, getting a little bit more money, a handful of things. But should really only be about the team, right? No I in team winning,
Right.
the whole deal.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you on your assessment, and then your fan base obviously better than I do fully. So I'm gonna go with what you said either way on that.
Right. Well, here's the thing. One of my bosses told me this, man, and it made me laugh, bro. I laughed all day. Right. You know how you get in a meeting, man, your boss tell you something. Like I've been blessed to have bosses with a sense of humor. It's some of them, and some of them are just jerks because they have to be. Right.
Yeah.
Like some bosses are jerks because they have to be, right? But my boss told me one time, he said, there is no I in team unless you spell it in Spanish. Yo.
I might use that.
He's like, there's no I in team unless you spell it in Spanish, right? Yo, that thing made me laugh, bro. I laughed at that dude, bro. Oh my God, man. That was hilarious.
Nothing better than having a humorous boss or landlord, right?
Right.
Like somebody that you could get along with, that's never on your neck, that just is pushing for you. Yeah, that's good. That's funny though, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I thought, man, because he caught me. You know how you get in these meetings and everything is so intense. Maybe your numbers are behind, or maybe the landscape that you anticipated to be there is not there. Like I'm in sales now. I dress bummy jab now, but pre-COVID, I had to be like no beard basically because people didn't trust people with beards back then, and sport coat and tie, clean, be clean, all that stuff. So I had to, do all that stuff, man. And so now when I say I'm in sales, people are like, who, him? What do you sell? Brown paper bags? No. but yeah. So I'm gonna read the because there were a couple of comments in the chat that I wanted to get to, and thank y'all too for commenting in the chat. I want to talk about what Sherwin said, because I understand Sherwin's position. I want to talk about what Paris Douglas said and two separate comments. So Paris Douglas said something in two separate comments. I want to link them together so that we can get the gist of it. And Paris, I appreciate the fact that you separated them, made the comments look to me even smarter, right? But I'll do the super chat first. So Paris Douglas, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Douglas says, it's ridiculous to say this cup tournament is a waste when the players are playing to the highest level. Anything that inspires your best is always great. Man, I appreciate that. To me, that's a very thought-provoking comment to me. And I thank you and appreciate that. Sherwin has something here too, and I respect it. Sherwin says, I'm sorry. Emirates Cup is just a waste of time to me. It serves no purpose other than making the NBA some money. It can go away. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a rating of 0 on caring. I understand that also.
Me too.
Right. I understand it. Yeah. Right. But here's the thing. How often is it that having fun, enjoying yourself, and making money all at the same time is a bad thing?
Never.
Like legitimately. Never. I don't know about Jay the Chosen One, but one of my dream things is being an entertainment mogul. Like, I don't know about y'all, but that's my secret dream, right? But if I can do that every day and have fun, not hurt nobody, and make money, I'll be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt about it.
How you feel about that, bro?
Well, first I'm going to
If
respond
you
to
could
what
do
you.
your dream job and have fun, not hurt nobody, and get rich, how would you do it?
No, I would lay on my couch and watch Netflix and just kind of knock out, and that's my dream job right there. No, the facts are maybe not catch some cephalosha and be good, hide from the world. No, the facts are that there's an old saying, and it's funny because I believe that we talked about this specific thing uh together recently, but you know, when you have that is ironically, your dream job is my dream job.
A
Being
lot of
being in the
us.
music business for so long, that's my dream is to be able to, and not only that, there's something inside that in my personality that wants to see others succeed too. So if I'm in a position where I get do that because of, like you said, not hurting anybody, right? When you're not hurting anybody, you're helping people as well. So I
Right.
would add that to my dream job. Yeah, to be in a position, be rich, be helpful, be healthy,
Right.
and not have to worry about the day-to-day things that, let's face it, we all have a little bit of anxiety over, are we going to get this rent, are we going to get this thing? Yeah, of course, I'm I'm right in the same car with you on that.
Right.
As far as what was said, if you want me to, I'll answer that now, or
Yeah,
you
no,
want me to
go ahead,
get
bro.
to that? All right. As far as what said, I believe in something called two things could be right at the same time.
Right, right, right.
I think they're both right. And you know, I think that play, like I said earlier, the young for the young, say you throw Huckaporty in there, he knows that he's going to get X amount. He's on a certain contract. He's playing for he's playing for the next bag. He's doing certain things. Kolick too. We need that extra help. We need the other men.
Right.
To think that we could just run out, 7, 8 people on a daily basis. You see what it did to us in years past when they couldn't even lift their arms to hit free throws at the end of the season. So I think that, when you play for something, there's inspiration in there. You want to do more than you've ever done. You put more effort into it. At the same token, I had made a comment recently that the NBA has tried to spice things up because the All-Star games have been kind of, not kind of, they've been, subparish. They added a lot of events to it, and this is one thing that they're adding to it as well. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that either one is wrong.
Right.
But being a optimistic person,
Right.
I'm gonna go stronger with I believe that they want to win this thing because it's on a big stage. Because we haven't won things for many, many decades,
Yeah.
and why not start in one place? Remember that feeling and bring it to you the end of the season with you.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Right. Right. No doubt. No doubt. And that makes sense to I have a listening. Yo, hey everybody, I bought a vibration plate to test it out since I'm sedentary, since I'm like, so I do work out, right? But most of my day is right here in front of this computer. And so I bought one of them things. It's shaking my legs, bro. Yo, you ever saw the joint? You ever been on TikTok and the lady is like, yo, I got this vibration plate. Yo, this thing is cooking me up. This thing is cooking me up downstairs, bro. Like legit. I gotta
Yo.
stop. Tori B, Tori B, I have a shopping problem. Like, legit. What the hell? Yo, you can't believe everything you see on the internet, everybody. Yo, this is crazy. But
Yeah.
But
I got the same problem.
Yeah, hey. Oh, drip more is in the building. Salute. Yeah, hey, but to the points that are made, I think both are very good points, right? I think both are very good points. Like, I'm not saying one person is right and the other is wrong. Right. So I'm not gonna do like one versus the other. I don't want to pit one fan against another fan because of how they feel about this thing. What I will say though is in this case where I value both opinions, right? What I will say is this, Jay. The thing is when it comes to achievement, we all like to have some type of achievement, right? Like, what is your benchmarker for the task that you take on? Are you good at your job? Right? Like, for instance, give an example. Say, for writers, there are certain awards. Like, there are Pulitzer Prizes, and then as you come down, there are different sorts of prizes that are awarded to writers.
Sure.
Right? Now, ultimately, the ultimate goal is to write a timeless piece that's legendary and historic. Right? But say if you do a great piece and it's not, maybe it's historic, but it's not legendary, right? People will remember that and say, hey, listen, I remember that Mike Lupica piece that he did about the 86 Mets, right? That's historic. It may not be legendary, but it marks a certain place in history.
Sure.
Right? Right? And so while that piece itself may not get Mike Lupica into the Hall of Fame, right? I think he is. But anyway, maybe that piece didn't. But it's a mile marker, a thing of measure of achievement. You accomplished something, right? And so with the Knicks, think about when's the last time the Knicks had anything of accomplishment?
I mean,
Chad, when's the last time the Knicks had anything of accomplishment?
The closest thing I could think of, and I don't even know if we could call it that because we didn't finish the thing, is when we, got to games when everybody was hurt a couple of years ago and we were close to doing the best we could. But is that an accomplishment? Because we, the old saying, if you're not first, you're last. Like, I don't know if that's an accomplishment or not. I think it is. I think it is in certain ways, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not the full. If you're not getting what you're going after fully, how accomplished is it? Right. So our biggest accomplishment, I guess, would be, shoot, man, that's not even fair to say with this team, because if the accomplishment is to get the championship, then our last major thing was in the 70s. If it's to get to the finals, then our last one was in the 90s. It's hard to say. I think that in sports, the goal is to win the championship. So when you end up 2 games away from getting to there, or whatever, how much. Let me like. Well, what do you feel about it? How much credence you put into that? Yeah, I could agree with that. Like even not in but even in '99, did we get to where we were trying to get? I give it it is accomplishment to get to the finals. There's no doubt about that. You can't take that away from somebody.
Right.
But is it the full accomplishment?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how people feel about it. For me, championships is a full accomplishment. So if you want to ask me that, then it's the 70s.
Yeah, nah, man. It's I listen, I'm with you. I'm with you on your line of thinking, your train of thought. Right. But when you say that though, you know, respectfully, you got me thinking like about 5 or 6 different things. And it's not because the point is all over the place. It's just because what you're saying is deeper than when you actually think about what you're saying. It makes me think about other things too. If that makes sense.
It does make 100% sense because my brain was like in 15 places while I was thinking about it.
Yeah, because the point that you're making makes me think like there is more stuff to this than like Transformers more than meets the eye, right? Right.
More than meets the eye. I remember waking up. What? Oh God.
Right. So, just I guess I'm all over the place with it, and because there are man, listen, y'all better get on your A game because Paris Duggar and Sherwin are on fire in the chat this morning. Sherwin is on fire in the chat this morning, man. Paris Duggar is on fire in the chat this morning. Yeah, man, y'all better step on your. I need some stronger coffee because they coming with it. Like they legit showing up today, right? Right. So they showing up with it. Let me, if you don't mind, let me answer what they said first, which will give me time to think about what you said. And then
do your thing.
Yeah, and then so the I think Sherwin said so here's Paris Duggar's thing that made sense too. If we take OKC to a last possession game and it will keep us on their mind. Everything always matters that matters. Something right. That makes sense. If we beat Oklahoma City, right? If we beat Oklahoma City, we're on their mind and we're on everyone's mind. At the same time, it gives confidence to your role players because they feel like they can compete on the grand stage as well in their roles, right? Now, mind you, the Knicks are either the best or second best home team in the NBA, right? And Oklahoma City is either the best or the second best home team in the NBA. The Knicks and OKC, I think, are tied, or maybe Oklahoma City is undefeated at home. Either way, you're talking about 2 dynamos when they play at home.
Yep.
If the Knicks beat Oklahoma City in a neutral site game, all of a sudden, all the narratives flip. Because not only do the Knicks win on the road, not only do they win the Emirates Cup on the road, they also beat Oklahoma City on the road.
And
this changes all the conversations. It flips all the narratives on their head. And now we have something different to speak about. Right? Sherwin mentioned too. Sherwin mentioned this. When was the last time an NBA team became champions without building from the draft? Which is another excellent point, right? The point Sherwin is making is the Knicks skipped some steps in their championship building, right? Because Jalen Brunson is a transplant. Mikal Bridges is a transplant. Josh Hart is a transplant. OG Anunoby is a transplant. Karl Anthony Towns is a transplant. Jordan Clarkson is a transplant. Landry Shamet is a transplant, right?
Yeah.
And so the odds of the Knicks building a championship contender in a way that is sustainable for multiple runs at a championship is not the conventional way. But at the same time, because Sherwin has an excellent point, right? At the same time, what I want to point out is that, hey man, we're here with what we have now, right? We're
Yep.
here with what we have now. And these guys, we have multiple all-star level guys locked up for the long term. Bridges is locked up for the long term, right? OG locked up for the long term. Brunson locked up for the long term. And then you have Kat and Josh that may be a year or two away from contract discussions, right? But these guys are locked up basically for the next 2 seasons, this season and next season, right? So the Knicks have no, because I understand Sherwin's point. It's a great point. It's a great point, right? It makes sense, right? But at the same time, this is who we are. We can't turn back now. Like there's no turning back now, man. You know, you have to go and fight with the fighters that you have. We chose these guys because they fit the culture that we were looking to build. And now, instead of people around the league just saying Heat culture, the Knicks are talking about the Nova culture, right? An excellent face of the franchise guy. That's the captain of the team. He's the all-star starter in the East, super committed to this franchise, and he's one hell of a player.
Captain Clutch.
Right. The thing now, the retort to that was Paris Duggar said, what was it? Paris Duggar had a comment up here that I wanted to highlight too, and I think I may have missed it, but I'm gonna go back to it.
All right.
Let me do this. Y'all bear with me because them dudes, they was on fire, right? And I was like, yo, I'm trying to catch them at the same time. But Paris Duggar says this, and it's separate, but it's the same. It's separate, but it's the same, right? Paris Duggar said, Cat's inability to get to the highest level of intensity is our biggest flaw because he's a difference maker, right? And the thing is with Cat is we know he has that mental gear he gets to when he faces an elite opponent, right? When Cat faces Jokic or Embiid, Cat something in Cat flips, like he gets to this. He's not Cat anymore. He's like just Carl Anthony or something. He's Simba or something, right? Like something in his mind flips where he gets to like this level. And listen, this is not just made up mumbo jumbo, right? These are facts. You saw that in the playoffs last year when the Knicks were down, when the chips were down. You saw Karl Anthony Towns get a steal off a guard, right? Throw the outlet for OG Anunoby for the dunk to basically seal the series. And then you also saw in like these dogfight scenarios where Cat would not let the shot over Jalen Duren in the first round of the
behind
playoffs.
the backboard, right? From behind the backboard.
Yes.
How many? That was in the third quarter. What, he had like 17 in that quarter?
Yeah. Yes.
People they forget Cat big moments. They act like all he do is run cardio out there. I laugh at the people because y'all not watching the games.
Right. You remember when the Knicks were up 2 or the Knicks were up 3 and Detroit just needed to stop so they can cut into the lead, and Karl Anthony Towns did the dribble euro from 3 from 28 feet, and the dagger was already in their heart, but he just ran up on them and twisted it. Yep. And you could see their heartbreak when that ball went through the rim. And what they basically in their minds is, yo, they have a cat and we don't. Right? That was, you could tell it, because soon as Cat put the shot up, they was like, oh, don't let him shoot. And then when it went through, their coach called the timeout. Their young players was walking to the bench with their heads down, and their coach went out there and started clapping like, hey, stay in the moment. But Cat broke their heart though.
When you're stop crying.
Yeah, when you're a young team and you give 1,000% of your, because the one thing you cannot say about the Detroit Pistons in that playoff series is they didn't play hard. Right.
Not only hard, they played probably the hardest. They were tougher to us, I believe, than Boston was.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
They play a different style of basketball.
Yeah, but I'm just saying defensively, you're 100% right on that.
You know, a different style of basketball. So I think I think the tougher game physically was against Detroit, but I think the mental game, the tougher opponent was the Boston Celtics. We couldn't beat them in the regular season. They were the reigning champions. Like, I think that was the harder out. I just think the harder games came against Detroit, if that makes sense. Like the more physical games came against Detroit, which I think iron sharpens iron. I think that helped us in the Boston series, but
right.
You know, I just think it's two. I don't think the two are comparable. Like, I think the outs are different. Like, but whatever.
Right. But to Parrish's point though, the point that Parrish is making is, why can't we get that Cat all the time?
Right.
I don't know. And that's frustrating for
that's
even the person who roots for him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the person who consistently roots for him. Like, nah, don't talk about Cat like that. Like, I'll give you 20 points to your 1 point that he was bad. I'll give you 20. Oh, why he's good. But that's the one thing he's not consistent, and I don't get why.
Right.
Like, I don't get why the moment shies away from him sometimes, because you'll watch him in the biggest of moments step up, but then during the regular season, he'll have like 17 points and 4 rebounds, and you're like, what happened?
Where was he at? Right.
We just saw it in Milwaukee.
What happened?
We just saw it in Milwaukee.
Right.
And your head and me, I always say he in his head, like, this dude is going the wrong way.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why when Sherwin made his point and when Paris Duggan made it, because I think Paris Duggan made his point first, and then Sherwin came through and made his point. I think both are excellent points. Excellent. I mean, excellent points. Like, the thing is, like, not caring about the Emirates Cup is not a apathetic thing. Like, it's not like the Knicks are a play-in team hoping that the other team's best player slips on a banana peel. The Knicks are not that, right? We used to be that. Like 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we were like, yo, there may be a pathway, man. If Giannis gets hurt, if that injury, bro, we might be able to sneak in. We used to be that. But in natural progression, we got better and better and better because guys were used to playing high leverage games. And whether we like whether we call the Emirates Cup high leverage games or not, bro, you legit take a Washington Wizards game off your schedule and add Oklahoma City, right? Because with the Emirates Cup, you're only going to play 82 games, right? You're only going to play 82 games.
Right. It doesn't change anything.
Right.
This game, like, say we play, once we beat Orlando, because I'm putting that out there, when we play Oklahoma City, is this one of the 2 games, or we still get a home and away game with them?
No, we still play the regular schedule.
All right. I'm just curious.
Yeah, because I think they take away like say they may be taking away a Philadelphia game or a team like on a schedule, they'll take away like some weird. Say if we play Orlando and Atlanta back to back, say Friday and Saturday, right? They'll take away. They'll probably take away the Orlando game since we're playing them in the Emirates Cup.
Okay.
So the regular Orlando game will be
sense.
taken off because Orlando made the Emirates Cup semifinals. You're only going to play 82 games, period, right?
Okay.
And so, but with that though, the level of competition Like we legit are taking the Washington Wizards off the schedule and maybe the Charlotte Hornets off and
Or
adding
Brooklyn.
the Orlando Magic and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
Right. So while it seems like, oh man, the Knicks are gonna play 90 games and shit. Nah, they ain't playing 90 games. Man, they can play 82 games, right? It's just the opponents are different because of the Emirates Cup. Right. But the point that Paris was saying that I just want to put a bow on the Paris Duggar point. I don't want to leave it open-ended. Right. The thing about that is if you're a fan of the Knicks and you watch Cat play throughout the year, there'll be certain matchups against certain opponents that Karl Anthony Towns is going to come to play. And you know it, because there'll be some games he's gonna throw that dunk down on the whole team and make the other coach call a timeout. Like, how is a 7-footer dribbling all the way from the perimeter, dunking on our set defense
with the right hand, like with the he went in on the left and still dunked with the right hand like this.
Toward it in the air to dunk right-handed.
Yeah, that's just that last dunk he had, and we know what we're talking about. The one where he came straight from the top. Everybody got who could jump off that couch did, and hit it with the right hand. His arm looked like this. Boom.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Because you can tell he wanted to do it with his left hand, but the defender there. So you can't just go up and with the defender and then let the defender knock it away. So then he go with the right hand and do like the glide by dunk with the right hand.
You're right.
It sounded nasty on
ridiculous. Ridiculous. And that's what we're looking for right on a regular basis. Is like you have that you have that in your bag? That's something you got in your bag?
And why don't we see it often enough?
Right. Why don't I see that more?
Right. That's the reason why I feel like Paris Duggar's point is an excellent point. And to be honest, I'll just say this to Paris Duggar. I appreciate the fact that you said something in the chat and explained what it is that you're saying, right? I know that don't mean nothing about nothing. And I don't know if you take that as disrespect or a cosign. I'm just stating for me, I'm just glad you put it in there. So however Paris Duggar take it, that's just how Paris Duggar take it, right? But chat, also the thing with Sherwin is basically telling from his perspective, he's saying keep your eyes on the prize. The prize is the most important thing. Like from Sherman's perspective, he's saying it's championship or bust. Who cares about any of the other stuff? It's all about this NBA championship. That's what I take away from what Sherman is saying, right? Like, who cares about all-star teams, Emirates Cups, all NBA, rookie of the year? Who cares about NBA player of the month? Who cares about the ultimate goal is winning the championship? And so in a empathetic way, while I don't agree, I could show empathy for Sherwin and his thought, because it's very smart and compelling. And to be honest with you, I think he was legit coming from a place of vulnerability by saying that. Like, screw everything else, man. It's championship or bust. Why are Knicks fans worried about the Emirates Cup?
Right.
What is that? What is that less than banner that we're gonna hang up? So, I mean, it's a lot. Yo, I think both of y'all overwhelm me with y'all thought, man. There's a lot of stuff to think. And then plus Jay Chosen, like 17 minutes, like 14 minutes ago, Jay Chosen said something, man. He got my mind spinning too. Right? And I've been working all morning. Like, I legit, it's not like I just woke up and it's groggy and came into the computer. I'm sharp. I'm ready. Right?
Yeah.
So Jay, I'm not even gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I do believe this next week, today's Friday, so by this time next Friday, I think there are going to be a lot of things revealed about this Knicks squad. Are we? How healthy are we? Right? How healthy are we? Can we beat Orlando? Right? Did us beating Orlando, was that a fluke? Because if Orlando beats us, that means they beat us 3 out of 4 times. That's something to consider. Right? That's the fly in the ointment. That's the fly in the soup. Right? Like legit, if Orlando wins and plays Oklahoma City and the Knicks are out, and then the Knicks, then they add the Washington Wizards or whoever back onto the Knicks schedule Monday night or Tuesday night or whatever, Knicks fans will be upset. I'll be upset. The Knicks organization will be upset. Right? But if the Knicks beat Orlando, right, and they play Oklahoma City and they make a good showing for themselves, the conversations will be different. Because honestly, I think Knicks fans think Oklahoma City is untouchable.
Still don't think that. I just don't think that they played really good teams yet. But I digress. I don't think that. I think they're a really good team, but I think they've been playing some really bad teams. But so have we. So I just leave that there.
I look at them in a different way. I look at them as a team that the second coming of the Durant Westbrook team that built the team because they were so terrible for a while, got good picks, made good moves. Front office made, as far as getting some extra picks from other other teams, got rid of unwanted, unnecessary people, and they also have played like today. My motto is going to be 2 things could be right at the same time, especially since the way you broke down both their comments. I do agree that and I agree with that too, Parrish, that they were never this, but they were nothing to play with, and a very deep squad in a different way, and it was different basketball back then. But what I mean by the second coming is now they have another team that is so strong and they're efficient in every category. Their bench is deep. They have a lot of homegrowns. I think if we're the Transformers, what were the other ones?
Decepticons, right?
Yeah, they were. So they're Decepticons, and so is it a deception? Did they play the right people? Did they, like you play who's in front of you. So like you're beating whoever you're beating up on. Right. But for me, I really think if all right, here add this to the cat conversation. Cat becomes cat, bodega cat, right? There's a difference between Carl and bodega cat, right? It's like Clark Kent, Superman. It's like completely different people,
right?
And if we could get bodega cat, I don't know what he has to do. Maybe what's his face who went in the cave for 4 days before he came back out and tripped whatever the quarterback. We need to get him to realize this is who you are, and I think that he feels, this is a feeling that I have, that he feels second for the second time in his life.
Okay.
To a smaller person.
What are you
That
talking
he
about? Carl Anthony
feels.
Towns?
Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
That he feels second to Jalen Brunson? That's what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He
Do you
feels
think he has a
second,
problem with that?
and he has a problem with that. Yes.
I don't think
That
he has a
he
problem
can't
with that
get
at all.
himself together between the ears to be that every single day. And it started to show a little bit when Anthony Edwards took over Minnesota. It wasn't like, you know, all the roses weren't thrown at Cat at that time anymore.
Okay.
Just a thought process that you know, they're all, you said it yourself, they're humans as well. You know, they go through their own stuff.
Right.
There's got to be a reason why he can't do this on a regular basis, why he doesn't turn it up to 10.
I that's the one thing about this team I don't worry about. I think these guys are all good with each other, and I think they all on one accord. I don't see animosity and jealousy, and I'm not mad. I'm mad because I'm not the number one guy. I don't see that on this team at all. That's the one thing I think that they have going for them. I think they're a unit. Like they one band, one sound. They marching together. I just don't see that. That's just me though. We could pick apart pieces of their game here and there, but I don't see the animosity thing. I don't like that I'm not the number one guy. Like he knew coming here, he wasn't gonna be the number one guy, and the man has been nothing but gracious and humble and complimentary of this team since he's got here, and that you could tell it's coming from a genuine place. So I just don't see that.
Right. No, I hear you on that, and I'm not saying that you're wrong on that. I'm saying that again. I'm sticking with the two things could be right at the same time. I also heard a man saying that how much he loved that Minnesota drip, and that it was super weird that his name wasn't on the back of it. You let that go. You haven't been on that team for a year and a half. You got bounced from that. You're a Knick. You're a Knick now.
But he was there for how many years? His entire career. It's not weird to say that.
It's gone.
It's not weird to say it. It's just not.
Right. And I get it. And that's the New York fan in me, and that's the listening to all the words and watching the mannerisms and you know and all this stuff. You know, I do agree with you on the same thing. He puts his arm around the kids. He talks to everybody on the team. He's clapping for everybody.
Yo, Huck Porty? He is like Huck Porty uncle, bro.
Right, I'm saying, right. I totally agree with that. But I do think that he's very used to being the go-to full-time. And he's starting to learn it.
Full-time in Minnesota once Anthony Edwards got there like that. That's just not a thing. Like I think sometimes we look for things that are just not there.
I would say this though.
We can agree to disagree.
Nah, we ain't gotta agree to disagree, man. This ain't nothing personal. Like
no, it's not. I'm not taking it personal at all.
Yeah, nah, this is it's conversation.
How dare you not agree with me? Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying that we don't have to beat a dead horse. Like he don't agree with what I'm saying. I don't agree with what he's saying. I don't think either one of us are gonna change each other's minds. So we can just agree to disagree. That's all I meant by it. Like ain't no beef here. We ain't got no beef.
It doesn't change how I feel about her. Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, we cool.
Yeah.
Right. But one of the things I do want to remind people of is the NBA has a history of megastars leaving their franchise, going to another city to win championships. This is not a Kevin Durant thing, even though it seems like a Kevin Durant thing, right? Like when we saw Kevin Durant leave Western Conference finalist to go to the other Western Conference finalist, we were like, he's sleeping with when you sleep. Like
That was so wild to me. I could not believe he did that.
Especially if they just beat him.
But there's a history of it. And I know Miss Smoke is probably somewhere she gonna hear this and she be like, "Why you always be talking about ex-girlfriends?" But I had a ex-girlfriend, right, a long time ago.
I'm telling. Just so you know,
long time ago. This is like 85, 86, everybody. This is the Janet Jackson control era. Like when Janet Jackson and the SOS band was on the radio. And this is a long time ago, right? And
sports.
And she had a voice like her voice is like Anita Baker. Like she had like that like low like voice, whatever.
Soulful.
And so I'll never forget this as long as I live, right? I looked at a girl when I was with her, right? I just looked at her, right? And I'm just gonna call her Benita, right? Benita looked at me and said, if you sleep with the dogs, you get the fleas. And I was like, is this some kind of weirdo female mind trick you trying to play on me?
First of all, we're not gonna call her Benita Appleborn. We're not doing that.
Benita Apple.
Second of all, no, that's not the mind trick. Keep your eyes to yourself when you out with your lady. Period. End of story.
Right. I mean, I know the golden rule. Like that's the golden rule.
Sometimes the eyes do it on their own, though. It's true. I want to be honest.
Get it?
With you.
People are human.
Yeah.
Sometimes like, whoa.
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing is, I'm getting at is like, as NBA fans, we feel like if you sleep with the dog, you get the fleas, right? But what if you sleep with the dog and you get a championship? That's the thing that Kevin Durant.
I like Kevin Durant.
Right.
Like, man, I'm trying to win.
Right. And it's like being at one job for a long time and you hear the grass is greener on the other side, and then every time you go to work, you be stressed out because your coworkers suck. Right. But you're like, nah, I gotta stay here. I gotta stay here, right? But then at the same time, it's like, why you gotta stay there if the grass is greener? Right. But the thing is, ultimately, Bill Walton left the San Diego Clippers to join the Boston Celtics to help form one of the greatest teams to ever play. Right. Ultimately, Oscar Robertson left the Kansas City Kings to go to Milwaukee and play point guard for Lou Alcindor. These things occurred, right? Bob McAdoo was the MVP of the league, and he felt like he was better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but he came off the bench behind Kareem in order for the Lakers to win the championship. Michael Thompson left Portland, the Portland Trailblazers, that were a playoff team, to come off the bench with Bob McAdoo behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. John Sally, one of the bad boy Pistons, left the Pistons to play for the Chicago Bulls of the 90s, the dynasty.
I'll never forget that.
Robert Parrish left the Celtics to play for the Jordan Bulls of the 90s. Right? Yeah. Dennis Rodman, people forget Dennis Rodman was a Piston bad boy. And he left the Pistons to go help Michael Jordan win championships.
That's right.
Right? It's like one of these things, like in our mind, it's like, no, teams will never leave. Nah, only dudes like Charles Barkley will do that. When he decided to do it, it was too late. Charles Barkley was 35 when he decided to do it. The last person
I think that got away with that was, what you call it, that went to Houston. Clyde Drexler. He was the last one.
Tori, now you see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he join somebody else with him too? Or was that the Lakers that did that?
Then he did it, then Chuck tried to do it and put the thing.
Right. Y'all remember the shooting guard, Mitch Richmond?
Of course, man.
He used to light Jordan.
Come off the bench and light it up.
He used to light Jordan up when he was. That man had Jordan number, bro. Like Mike was like, that man head too big. He come in here doing all this, bro. He be knocking people. Mitch Richmond is a supersized version of Jalen Brunson.
Yes, he was.
You know what? That's a good call right there. That's a good call.
So the thing with Cat,
he never bet a basket. He couldn't put a ball in. I tell you that.
Well, right. So my thing is with Cat is when you play 9, 10, 11 seasons with a franchise, and you see that you bumped your head up against the wall for so many years, right? You're like, I can't win here. No matter what we do, it turned out to be. Yo, y'all ever have any of y'all got a friend that's pure calamity? Like, no matter how good they plan, stuff always go wrong. You're like, oh my God, this is.
I believe Cat though, Freezy. I hate to cut you off.
Salute, bro. Salute.
So hey, I'm sorry. First of all, good morning, party people.
Good morning.
One of the biggest days the Knicks have had in 6 months. Tomorrow is what it's all about. Tori, I think they call you I call you Latoria, but I hear them calling you Tori. Tori's cool.
Yeah, Tori is fine.
We bless the queen. To my man up top, I forget your name. One chance, one.
No, Jay the chosen one. This is Jay the chosen one, bro. He is a celebrity in these Knicks universe streets, bro.
And to the man that get me more emails a week than my job gives me with work assignments. I be reading these emails like I need to get paid an hourly fee.
I just sent you another one. I just sent you another kite this morning, bro. I legit just sent you another kite this morning.
Lord have mercy.
To the master of this ship, Uncle Freezy, what's up? So I think it's different. I think of Minnesota, I believe Cat. I really do. A lot of times they'll try to keep the city like I didn't sell out, like Giannis. Milwaukee's going to boo him. They might cheer him a little bit, but they are hurt. I live in Milwaukee, so they are crushed.
They crushed.
Oh, wow. Milwaukee.
Yeah, I live in Milwaukee now. I've been here for a year.
Okay.
So to be sitting courtside and watch them, they definitely thought he was faking his injury. They're very upset. But anyway, so that's different, right? It's clear he's forcing his way out. I believe Minnesota gave up on Cat. I really do. I think they really said if we have our cornerstones are really why have these 3 big contracts, right? With Gobert, Cat, and
Edwards, right?
And Edwards, right? So we think we can move Cat for a couple of pieces. I don't know how good they're going to be, but this may work for them. I really think there was issues with Cat in that offense, and I think Cat really wants to. But I don't know. I don't want to kick his back in too much because he's played his tail off since the day I came up here last time with Tori and bashed him. He shut me up. Tomorrow's big, though, Tori. Tomorrow, and I don't know if Franz is playing, but there's some big bodies on that front line.
No, he's out. Franz Wagner's out. He's not
he's
not out. He's out for like 6 to 8 weeks. He out.
Yeah, he's out like he was last time out.
So I really think we should beat them without him because he's a bucket getter. He gets us in the paint, and he causes us a lot of problems. We'll see. But I do want to see Cat moving around on these big bodies tomorrow. And if he does, then I'll chill out some because I've definitely apologized, Tori, for my last stance because Cat. But
y'all was jumping me.
No, but Tori,
letting it happen.
But Tori, I did say that against the small bodies, he bullies. But I want to see him really get into the paint tomorrow. Tomorrow is 5:30 p.m. Well, 6:30 on the East Coast. What time the game coming on? Okay. Yes.
Yep.
6:30 on the East Coast. Prime time on a Saturday. It's freezing cold outside. And so there won't be no outside activity. So even if you go to a bar somewhere, it's going to be a lot of eyes around America on us. We really got to be playing some good ball tomorrow. It's a very important game because the conversation piece is important. And I want people hit me up like, yo, your Knicks really do look good right now. That's all I got.
Right. That's all. That was amazing, bro. Wow.
So let me ask you. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chosen One. I'm sorry.
I wanted to ask then if what I said, did you hear what I said about Cat and his feelings about Milwaukee and about being number one there for so long?
In Minnesota.
Sorry, in Minnesota.
Right.
Because Milwaukee is the next thing I was going to bring up. But Minnesota, do you feel that he started to feel a certain way because Edwards was becoming the number one after he had been the number one for so long, and that he feels that way still, even though he knew he was coming here to be the number two?
So there's rumors that he feels that way. I'm sure it can't be easy because I did see sometimes on their championship run where he took that ball and started playing point guard. And you don't see him doing it here much. Now, we do get him at the top of the key because we're clear that he has to have some space. Cats need some space. He's not a back to the basket guy. We'd be foolish to dump it down to him 40 times in a row back to the basket. He's not Shaq. So I don't know, man. He's a nice guy, though. And so I don't want to put any negative connotations on somebody who's the nicest guy as he is. You won't find many better humans than Karl Anthony Towns. So we shall see, though. If he gets moved and he's not pissed about being moved and you see some pep in his step and he's a number one on the team and that's what he really wanted to be, only time will tell. But I do not believe Karl Anthony Towns is being moved for Giannis Antetokounmpo because I'm telling you, this is a very small town. Big city amenities. So I'm definitely going, you get a chance to come to Milwaukee, especially in the summertime, don't miss it. It's an amazing city. The wintertime, duck your head, boy, because we already got 3 feet of snow out there. But
right.
But in the summertime, amazing city. So, but they do not want Karl Anthony Towns. They don't want no parts of Karl Anthony Towns. They want a ton of draft picks. They want to go and cheer. They will pack that Fiserv arena and cheer for some young people, and they'll be happy about it. Same way with their Brewers. They're a small market team. They're like 12th in salary allocation. The teams they went up against, when they went up against the Dodgers was almost triple. With Dodgers spend $400 million, the Brewers spent $135 million. So that's what they're about. They're about a small market team overachieving. So I think they want to build like OKC. They want to get really lucky in the draft, hold those players as long. So they do not want Karl Anthony Towns. So there'll be no cap for Giannis trade. I can tell you that now. Coming from the Milwaukee perspective.
That works for me. I don't want him to go there.
I know you
I
don't.
want to stay with us. But conversations like this irritate me. And the only reason they bother me is because I feel like people are trying to cause dissension amongst the ranks. These guys are teammates. They play together. They like each other. And I feel like that narrative is being pressed because people want to cause some kind of chaos in their locker room. That's the only reason it bothers me because I don't think it's true. One, I don't think it's true. And two, I think they're doing it intentionally to try to cause turmoil there. So every time we have these conversations, they leak out. And these players hear it. And then they start side-eyeing each other because they're human. When there was never nothing there. But I think they're just doing it to cause chaos in our locker room.
Okay. That's interesting.
Is that what you think I'm doing?
Yes. I think you're adding to the fray. I think that you're looking at little tiny microaggressions, and because you can't figure out why he's not doing the thing you want him to do, that you're taking that and saying, you know what, I think he's doing it because he don't want to be number two. I think you're creating a narrative because you heard someone else say it.
No, I didn't hear anybody else. I didn't hear anybody else say anything.
That's been a talking point. So I
hear you. I didn't hear anybody else say anything.
But
it's something I saw.
But let me say this though. I think that the fact that if that is true, one way or the other, say both are true. I think I prefer it. I like my players on edge, like being a little bit edgy, not crazy, not unstable, right? But I think because the thing is with Cat that I noticed is like if we were playing the Sixers tomorrow, we know Cat going for 30 and 20. Right? You can book it. You could write it down, take a picture of it. You can but if we were playing Denver in the Emirates Cup game, you know Cat is gonna go for 40 and 15 and knock down 6 threes. You know this. My issue with Cat, and it's not the issue with the conversation or any of y'all's perspective, right? My thing is I would like to see Cat be more of I would prefer Cat to be more of Simba, right? But at the same time, y'all know how Simba got to be king, right? The tribe anointed him as king. After he was born, right? Remember Mufasa? I mean, not Mufasa, but the dude that was Benson. What's the dude that was
Scar?
No, not Scar. The other one, the Robert Guillaume character. The one he held Simba up. And remember the lions were behind watching?
Rafiki,
right.
The baboon.
Right. Yeah. Y'all remember Rafiki held Simba up in front of the entire nation so that they can see who the next king is. But as Knicks fans, we don't ever do that. We would like to kill that cub before he gets to Rafiki. It's the reason why we say Mo Diawara is trash and Pakem Dadier is trash. Tyler Kolek is trash. Cat is trash. Like all these different, like we legitimately don't want Rafiki to hold the cub up for the world to see. Now, I know people are going to disagree with me. They're going to be like, no, Uncle Freezy, we don't ever do that. But even if you disagree with me, guess what you're doing to me? The same thing that you would be doing to Tyler Cole and all them things about this point, right? Before we acknowledge it, because think about how's the fan base split about Karl Anthony Towns even being a Knick? And the 1 year he was here, he was an all-star starter and helped this team get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So how are there detractors of Karl Anthony Towns? And in the one season he was here, he started in the All-Star game. He shot 40-something% from three, right? Put up all-star numbers, was an all-star starter, helped you in the playoffs against Detroit and Indiana, right? And Indiana. People forget that Indiana series. Jay the Chosen One. I'm going to just say this, and I'm not bashing Jalen Brunson. But more than a few times in that conference finals, Jalen Brunson looked like the ops. Like, I'm like, Jalen Brunson, just put a damn yellow jersey on, bro.
But they run a good scheme at him. Indiana runs a great scheme at him. They have very big athletic guards, a lot of them.
But I don't disagree with that either. That series, the amount of turnovers, the foolish passes, the out of bounds,
the selfishness,
the hold the rock for 22 seconds. Definitely, I'm with you on that.
There were plays on Twitter that I saw last night where there are Knicks standing under the rim and Jalen Brunson is facing a double team. They hadn't double teamed him yet, but the double team is going towards him and there are two people open and Jalen Brunson held the ball and turned it over. As opposed to passing that. It's Mitchell Robinson under the rim with his hands up and the double team is going to Brunson and Jalen Brunson turns the ball over and Indiana goes the other way and knocks down the corner three. Right. But we live with Jalen Brunson's mistakes. But anyone else makes a mistake, we're like Scar trying to throw Simba off the cliff into that herd of buffaloes.
Well, back to your take, which is phenomenal. And I think, and that's where it's good, bad, or indifferent, Tori, is that Freezy is right. You want all your players to have that chip because I think that's where you were going. Every night you want them to have a chip, whether it's a chip that they want to be the number one. You were suggesting that when he plays against Embiid and Jokic, he wants to prove that he's the best big man in the league. So you're gonna get his best game. I think that's where you're going with this. Knicks fans in this rough and tumble city want somebody who's gonna bring their hard hat. Look at their. I could not believe that this group of guys understand New York so much that at the end of the game, they put a pair of Timbs and a hard hat around the player of the game and take a picture that goes viral. That's big. That lets them know that they understand the fan base that they're playing for. And once I started seeing that more, I said, you know what? I got to leave this group alone. Tory was right. It was Cowboy Bob. Even though Cowboy Bob, his mic hasn't been good. His we got to make sure we upgrade.
Yeah. Cowboy Bob, if you watching, bro, upgrade it. We know you got the money. We know your family got the money, Cowboy Bob.
Stop walking around outside.
I should be
You
calling
walking around outside. You going in and out.
Yeah.
Like, get your technology together.
We know
bro.
Cowboy Bob, the family got bread, bro. I ain't gonna say how they got the bread, but we know Cowboy Bob family got bread.
Coach
You
was
guys
a good.
are killing me.
And Tori, I gotta apologize for my homeboy Free Keith. He is just one of the most. He's one of the most passionate men you ever want to meet in your life.
Yeah, no, I don't got no beef with Keith. We was doing the other day. It's all basketball for me. No, he ain't talk about my mama, and he ain't call me out my name.
Oh,
you
you
can
know.
yell at me about basketball all the time. You can do it. I don't care.
Yeah, remember
I'm
Alpha Phi Alpha would never be disrespectful to no woman ever.
Nah,
that's
that's
right.
right.
Like I have zero problems with Keith. We laughed after that stream.
Good.
Behind doors, we laughed after that stream. That's not. I got no problems. You could be as passionate as you want with me about basketball.
Right. Same thing as I don't hit whatever she just said about me. Like, you don't know me fully to say that, but I know that I'm gonna have a great conversation with you sometime soon. So I don't have, this right now. I'm talking from a basketball perspective, not a disruptive team. I root for the people on the front. I'm only coming from a point of view that I'm looking at, and I'm definitely not a follower. So I don't reiterate or regurgitate anybody else's thoughts. Just
Jay, the chosen one. He don't know me like that yet.
I don't think that you're a follower, and I don't think that you're regurgitating people's thoughts. But if you're on these media sites just like the rest of us, you've seen exactly what you said. Because this is not a new narrative. They've been talking about Cat was upset and Cat and Jalen don't get along. This is on everybody's platform. This is not the first time. So maybe you didn't directly take it from somebody, but you've heard it. Like, and when you hear things, they seep into our subconscious, and you start to look for things a little bit more. So now you may take a little mannerism on the sidelines as, oh, look at these guys, they're not getting along. So those things matter. Like, I'm not saying that you're a follower, but I'm saying that you've heard it. Yes.
Yeah,
if you've heard it and you've seen it enough, right, you may not even agree with it. But if somebody keeps saying it and you're watching the game and you see them on the sidelines and you're like, hey, look at these two guys. They don't look happy. And now it's stuck in your subconscious. So now you're looking for these things. I'm looking at the basketball court. I don't give a damn what they're doing on that sideline.
Right.
And
I hear you on that, and I respect your opinion for sure.
Yeah, Sherwin, you asked the question about me. Okay, that's fine. That's 100% fine.
Well, let me
ask
say
the
this
question for me in the chat. Hold on, give me 1 second, Freezy. I just want to clarify because I want him to tell me what he looking for. He asking me to rate Cat on his basketball skills when that's all I do. I'm not the one that's here. I'm not the one up here talking about he's soft and I talk about Cat's basketball skill all the time. Scoring, rebounding, passing the ball. Like, I don't. Everybody knows he has a defensive deficiency. Like, we've all acknowledged that, but I also can acknowledge that he's playing harder on the defensive end. I'm not saying that he's 100%.
His defense
great.
is much improved. Everybody been saying it all year. And yesterday, Matt Creek even came on
I don't have
as an
any
independent
idea why.
And said his defense is better. Like, the thing is, what's old is old, what's present is present, and Cat's defense has been a lot better this season. but people are rehashing the old thing that's set in memory banks, right?
And I got to give Mike Brown a ton of props for this, because last year Tibbs would keep Brunson on that guard, and they would bring over Cat's man and throw them in that pick and roll.
Yeah.
And Tibbs would let them do it 50 times in a row. Tibbs would let them score 140 points and tell Cat and Jalen to figure it out. What Brown will do is he'll say, okay, y'all want to do this? Jalen, come off this guy. I'm putting Michael up there. And now you're taking Jalen off the guy, so now they can't throw him in that mix. And if they keep doing it, Brown is going to say, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm going zone on y'all now, because all you want to get is layups. Now that means y'all not shooting the ball well. And I'm going to go to zone, take your ability to run the pick and roll out, and Brown makes adjustments. And I can't believe I just gave him that level of props when I wasn't sure that he was the right guy.
Right.
See,
Let me just
ahead.
I just wanted to say the one thing real quick, because the chat have been around me long enough to know, like, just to the Chosen One's point, and I don't know if Jay the Chosen One knows this or not. I'll clarify it today though, bro. If you're one of those people that don't have an original thought, or you just want to parakeet GI, Uncle Freezy, or Tory B just to be on the live stream, I will get your ass out of here fast. That's who I am. The reason why Jay the Chosen One is here rocking with us is not because of the conversations we had the past couple of days, but because of the resume he built before he got here. So we know who he is, right? And the fact that he here rocking with us, man, I'm gracious to thank you, right? You coming through, hanging out with us and all that. But y'all have seen this panel turn over all the time over the years. Like, as soon as somebody start being phony baloney, I'm gonna get their ass out of here, right? And while y'all might not hear the conversation between me and that person, that part ain't important. Y'all already know, if y'all not keeping it a stack, y'all gonna have to do that somewhere else. So respect to Jay the Chosen One for clarifying, but you ain't have to clarify, bro. Like, legitimately, I understand who you are in this space, and I don't know if you know who, but one of the things that the reason why a lot of people in Knicks universe don't like me is because I'm a straight shot. I'm just tell it like it is. Like, bro, you come up here recycling Tory B stuff, you whack, bro. You gotta do this. You gotta do that shit somewhere else.
People might think I get special privileges on this platform. If you've been around, like Sherwin has been around, Delano, I can run the names.
Yeah, Paris Duggar.
Mega.
Yeah.
Man, Freezy has hit me up multiple times. Like, GI, that wasn't your best day. I need you to be cooking, bro. I need you to go back in the lab. I need you to get on your analytics. You know, it might be sweet to the ear, but it's poor to the soul. I need you bringing it, bro. So there's nobody here that gets any passes. If y'all saw our chat, me, Freezy, and Keith, man, it don't laugh, Freeze, because you're gonna piss Keith off. See, you trying to piss my man off. Yo, we go at it, bro.
Yeah.
My girl sat over one day and was like, "Are you sure y'all friends?"
Yeah, you sure y'all? Yo, Tori, they had me so hot one day about Cat and Mitch, because I love both of them, right? I love both of them, right? And so, like, and listen, our private conversations are private. Like, any conversation that I have with any of y'all is always private, right? Like, I ain't trying to, but the essence of them is, yo, we need to be at our best, because, listen, I have to hold myself to a standard. Right. I have to hold myself to a standard. So, but with that though, I do understand the part about how narratives can be destructive to chemistry. Right. And so I do understand that, Tori, and I understand how that can be, you know what I'm saying,
Tori, he's
poisoned the
sugarcoating.
well
I'm
in the
sorry to
fan
be
base.
rude. He's sugarcoating, Tori. He threatened to cancel our show. He threatened to cancel our show.
Show. The free Keith Hour. Uh-oh.
Hey, that man just put me on.
Y'all got
That
to
man just
go.
put me on the spot. Yo,
He said y'all
I
gotta
can't.
go.
Yo, that's yeah. Right. Yo, yeah, pretty much. I just feel that way. My thing about Cat is, even though I love, it's like, you know how like one of your kids is super smart, but they won't do their homework. Well, like, bro, you can legit be the valedictorian if you want to. And he like, but Pops, man, you know what I'm saying? Pam and them hanging out at the mall. And you're like, you can't tell him not to go to the mall, right? But bro, you sure you don't want to just do some more studying first? Yeah, man, I'm already passing. I got an 88 in there, man. What's the difference between an 88 and a 98? Scholarship money, dummy.
But yeah, you nailed it, man.
But Pam was at the mall, though. But Pam was at the mall. But Pam was at the mall, man. David Smith is in the building. Dogosaurus Rex is in the building. I thought I saw Ribs. Is Ribs in the building? Danny Landis is in the building.
So I had a big argument with David Smith. David Smith, I want to vehemently apologize to you. I absolutely was too hard on Cat that day, and you had a right to slap my hand, my brother. You're right. I am not one to break up this core. I can't see a player out there that is worth breaking up this core for. You're right. Now, if it don't work, though, our pivot is going to be tougher. And I think you got to, well, one thing we talk about on here, we love a New York team. And so part of the culture that comes with New York is the stock market. And understanding that the stock market comes out of New York, when you got assets, you sell them high. You don't drill your assets in the hole and then say, okay, let me go out here on the market. And people are going to say, why are you selling me on Canal Street Rolexes? We don't buy Canal Street Rolexes. So that's always a fear. And David Smith, you must understand too, Freezy did tell me you're a younger man. I'm 54 years old. I have lived 52 years without a championship. I was 1 year old the last time we won a championship. And I hope you don't have to go through.
I have PTSD.
I have
bro, we in the same
PTSD.
boat, bro. I was a toddler. Those are not our championships, bro. Those championships.
Right. We can't claim those.
Yeah, those were my uncle's championships, man.
Right.
Yeah.
If you allow me just a second. Go ahead, Freezy. I mean to cut you off.
No. You ain't cutting me off.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to answer Sherwin because he put something in the chat about Cat, and he asked me to rate his all his junk he put up here. I'm not going to break down everything bracket by bracket for you, but we all know the only thing that you could really talk about Karl Anthony Towns about is his defense, which has been getting better this season. So if you want me to rate all the other things, I'm not going to give him a low percentage on any of it because we all know he can score. We all know he can rebound. We all know he has great court vision. So the man is averaging almost 4 assists a game. We know the man has great footwork because Freezy just talked about his step. Like, if you're looking for a reason not to like Cat, you better look on the defensive end because if you're looking on the offensive end, you're not going to find it.
Right.
So instead of keep putting all of this stuff in the chat, break it down and tell me how much percentage is this and tell me how much percentage is that. Just say, I don't like Cat, and nothing you're going to say is going to change that. And let's leave it alone. Because you don't like Karl Anthony Towns. You don't. And that's fine. You don't have to like him, but you're not going to keep putting stuff up here that's just not true.
And to suggest that you would trade Cat for AD, come on now.
It's just street clothes. Like, why would you want to do that available 30% of the time? That's just dumb.
And even Dallas has come out and said, and the analysts have come out and said, Dallas is going to have to take less for AD than they traded him for. That dude is going to lose his job, man. When he traded Luka for AD and then trades AD for a bag of peanuts and popcorn, He's done. That's what we're talking about, trading assets. These players, and I got to be careful because I'm not suggesting no slavery stuff, and we don't get into politics on this. We talk sports. We don't talk politics over here, right?
Right.
So I'm not getting in it. But these players are assets to these organizations.
Right.
It's not a bad thing. But to suggest that you would trade Cat for AD, I love you, Sherwin. I have argued with you before. I've seen you crash out before. I've seen you had great moments. This is not your finest moment, bro. It's just absolutely not your finest moment.
Right. And so one of the things too that people have to and this is, I know everybody's not they on the court basketball coach savant type. I like that stuff. Right? But the reason why AD gets hurt is because you put him in those positions where a skilled big is going into the wash. It's the reason why Mitchell Robinson right now is on game-to-game management. When people just constantly say, man, we got to run the pick and roll. We need the picker. No. Stop it. The pick and roll damages players. It's the reason why you see Mitch breaking down at age 27. It's the reason why DeAndre Jordan has been washed for 6 years. It's the reason why Clint Capella, who was a great pick and roll man when he was 21, 22, 23, 24, is not that right now, and he's barely 30. You don't want your skilled players running the pick and roll. You don't want them to do that. But when you force AD, a super skilled, an all-time skilled big, you force him to do stuff because he can do it, and then he gets hurt. And then you're like, man, I can't depend on a man because he's always hurt. No, you're a fucking idiot. Bro, why would you take your Lamborghini to move house furniture? What kind of idiot would put a couch on top of a Ferrari? Right? Like, legitimately, if Anthony Davis is one of the greatest fours to ever play the game, why would you try to make him a full-time five? When you know full-time fives get, as a matter of fact, there's a center on Dallas right now that's a full-time five, and it's December, and he's out for the season already.
Feet issues. Big man in their feet.
But you want, and you're like, oh, he's out due to injury, so I need Anthony Davis to fill in and do his job. Are you serious? The dude that's doing it right now is hurt, and you want Anthony Davis to go in there and do that? Yo, nothing can be more unreal. This is so not real life. It's crazy. Like, the thing is, Mitchell Robinson has value as a cutter, right? We don't use him as a cutter. We use him as a full-time screen and roll man. And now he's game-to-game injury management. And we're like, yo, man, I can't count on Mitch, man. Yo, if it's a back-to-back, yo, blah, 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 man, what happened with it? Bro, if we use him right, like the way that the guys are supposed to be used, you wouldn't have this issue. It's the reason why Jalen Brunson Cat pick and roll is not going to work. Who's going to be the roll man? Brunson? Because it damn sure can't be Cat. Because if you injure Cat, right, and Mitch is already injured, do you really want to depend on Ariel Huckporty for the rest of the season?
You're in big trouble. Sherwood, I can't go back and forth with the chat because Freezy, he tears our butt up for this, but your take, what you're about to run me to, is something very intelligent. You have to remember, you're right. I don't see us trading Cat for nobody, which is why I am off this Cat being traded and embracing him and making it work. But you have to remember, when we traded for Cat, it was the perfect trade. Randall is in his contract year. Randall was not signing with the Knicks for $100 million. He wasn't giving us another $100 million deal. He told us he was playing for the max.
Right.
So you have to take the risk. And we lost Dante in the in the essence, and I get it, but we replaced him well with Clarkson and Shamit, right? And Deuce stepping up. So we replaced. So you can't cry about Dante no more.
Right.
But I will say, Cat is an upgrade over Randall. And if Free Keith was here, he'd be yelling and screaming, God bless him. But there's not an intelligent basketball in the mind in the world that does not say that Cat is not an upgrade over Randall. Period. So you see how we got what we got, and we got to ride it out. And our options of moving players around. This is our team. And anybody that doesn't see that thinks Superman is walking through there, our Superman is here if we're going to win a championship. And if not, another 15, 20 years of purgatory. But that's not the way we're thinking today. We're thinking positively, and tomorrow we're going to move the needle for the entire international basketball verse to see that we are the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Okay. Okay.
And just to piggyback off that a little bit, the CBA has a lot more to do with him being moved than his skill set. A $60 million contract is a big contract, and not very many people are going to be clamoring to take on that kind of money, especially a team in a rebuild process, because they don't want to take and put all their money into one guy.
Right. Right. Okay.
So all these questions are like twofold. Who's going to take the $60 million? You got to think about the team who actually needs him, and if they have cap space. Like, it's silly. Just say I don't like Cat, and let's leave it there. Like, because all of these random little things you keep saying don't make sense. But whatever.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I heard what she said.
I'm just super excited for tomorrow. I mean,
man,
again,
I'm excited too.
Yeah, biggest game we've had since, last May. Well over 6 months. I hated these cup games because we wasn't good at them. But now that we get the spotlight tomorrow to ourselves, team gets to go out to Vegas. Hopefully they get this. So they stay in Vegas for the whole time? When is
Yes.
it? Right.
Yep.
So if they win tomorrow, they stay in Vegas, right?
Yep.
So hopefully they get to let their hair down a little bit, little mid-season fun. Not too much fun, guys. Don't
go too
no
crazy.
university.
Right, don't be at the casino.
Yeah, no. Well, they got money for the casino as long as they get a private
I'm
room.
saying go to bed. That's what I said. Go to bed.
Yeah. Don't be out all night.
Go to bed.
Because don't pull a CD Lamb. That's for sure.
Hey, right, go to bed.
Charles, don't do it, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, but it's gotta be. Come on now, to be in Vegas this time of the year versus being in New York City. To get
And it's
a
cold
little
in
bit.
Vegas too.
Yeah, get some heat on their body. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Big rooms. Great accommodations. So, this is good, man. Some motivation, some team building, some team bonding. I'm all for this, man. And as long as we can keep doing good in these cup games, I'm for it. If we don't do good in the cup games, then I want the cup to go away. So,
Right. Right.
I think it's a great thing because we're on nationally, and we're playing really good basketball.
Right.
And we're gelling very well. And the better we do, the better we do in this tournament. I believe in life, period. The better you do in anything, it will make you better prepared for the next accomplishment. So we go ahead and take care of business in this one live across, the United States.
International.
Yeah, you're right. Pardon me. Internationally, I'm gonna tell you something. Better prepared we be for that, for the playoffs than to the show. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about tomorrow. Really excited.
Yeah, me too, man.
I don't really think it matters. Do we care about? I care that we're playing tomorrow and that everybody's going to get to see it. And I hope that we bring out the best the best possible versions of ourselves, each and every player.
Right.
We're going to need the bench tomorrow. We definitely
Yep.
going to need the bench tomorrow. Orlando definitely thrives off their bench. They young team, so they go deep. Their coach is young mentality. So we definitely going to need Clarkson. I don't think we have. Kolick is going to get some big minutes. Yabusele. I don't know. Mitch, between Mitch and Towns, they're probably gonna eat all the minutes. Hawk Porty probably won't see a lot, but Yabusele, Clarkson, and Kolick gonna get a lot of time tomorrow because I think Deuce and what you call it still out, right? Deuce
Yeah, Deuce and
and
Shannon.
Damn it.
Shannon still out, right? Yeah. So, so, so what you call it? And I gotta give the young man some props, man, because we always, what Freezy would always say when we were 3 years ago when we knew we didn't have a championship roster, but Tibbs kept playing the same six guys. We
Right.
talked about how do you expect these young guys to? How do we expect Kevin Knox? That was probably like our number one, right? We used to always talk about how do we expect Kevin Knox to get better if he doesn't get minutes.
Right.
And so when he would get out there and look so lost, we use excuse that he didn't give minutes. I can't use that excuse for Tyler Kolick. I really can't. He doesn't know when he's going to get in the game, but when he get in the game, he's super energetic. I can see how he was player of the conference of the Big East because when Kolick gets in the game, he's intelligent. He's not a defensive stopper, but the offense doesn't suffer when Kolick comes in the game. So I got to give that young man some props, man. I think he's got some staying power with this organization. I truly do.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I
I,
do too.
I don't know. I don't think we need to make any wholesale changes. Yeah, I said this point last week. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'll say it again right here, but I'm not going to expound on it. I think once Mo Diawara and Pakam Dadier can be switchable defensively, like Mo Diawara can guard twos, threes, and fours, and Dadier can guard twos, threes, fours, and fives. I think you'll instantly see both of them in a rotation. Instantly. The thing about it though is every time Mo Diawara comes into the game, like his mind he's so young and inexperienced with the speed of the game and what NBA teams are doing that he can't keep up. And so that's why you see Mike Brown that will put him in the game and then take him out after like 36 seconds. Because in like 36 seconds, he would have blown three defensive assignments. You're like, yo, how is that possible? It's because he's young.
Yep.
Because he's young on a team that wants to win a championship, and you can't have it, right? Because him missing defensive assignments impacts Jalen Brunson and Cat. Because he misses two defensive assignments, your 3-point lead goes to a 1-point deficit. Now your stars got to bail out the team, put the team back on their back because one young guy is not ready to play. Right? That's what it is. So I would say just give them time. The Knicks have what they need in-house. It's just going to take them time. They just got to cook. That's all it is. Like, those young guys are in the crock pot, man. They need time. And Dink Pate is dominating against lesser opponents in the G League, and that's exactly what you want him to do.
That's right.
But Dink Pate is playing every day against grown men. So for the ones that want Dink Pate like to come up and be on the active roster, remember he won't be playing, right? He won't be playing. He'll be practicing against grown men. Where if he's in the G League, he'll be playing and practicing against grown men.
Yeah, his development will stale for sure if he got brought up.
Right.
Stale. You know what I mean? It'll be stalled off. And no matter what the practice, even with the practicing, that doesn't do the same service as playing daily, playing on a regular basis.
Right.
And, there's a lot of great skill in these young men, for sure, for sure.
Right.
I want to talk about something really quick.
Okay.
Yabusele for a minute, if that's cool.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
How do you feel? Do you feel Yabusele is gonna find a stride? Do you feel like because Can we agree we need some extra help in the big area, in the big man area? Do you have any thoughts of what we could do with him to make him in a better stride? Like
I don't have any thoughts. I'd love to hear yours though.
Yeah, I ran through like 3 or 4 different versions of things. Like start in one game. Let him start a game. Let him play the 4. Let him play the 4. You know, especially with Deuce being down right now, let him play the 4. Make sure that every time Mitch comes in, he comes in the same time. You know, the man is big. I want to see him set solid picks. Get a couple rebounds. Throw up a couple of putbacks. You know, I don't think we're asking too much from Yabusele to do what? 10 and...
Hey, Dr. Source, you got to echo, bro.
10 and 6 from Yabusele. Is that asking too much? 10 and 6, 10 and 5, 12 and 5, 12 and 6.
I'm like you. I feel like Yabu just need more minutes. Because I feel like he's doing better than he was at the beginning of the season, but he gets such limited minutes. Like, I think it's hard to find yourself, get yourself in the flow when you're only playing 4 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 3 minutes here. Like, don't get consistent playing time. Like, you can't find your groove if you don't play, but I don't know what their plan is for him. Like, I don't know what he's doing in practice that Mike Brown is only playing him a couple of minutes a game. Like, I don't get it. But if he's consistently playing him for a couple of minutes a game, then obviously he's not in the doghouse because he's out there on the court. But, bro, like, you got to let this man play consistently if you want to see if he can actually play. Like, I don't know. I just feel like he needs more minutes because I feel like he's better than he was when he walked in the door. I just think he's not getting the playing time, which is hard to get playing time on his team. It's weird. Like, this is the weirdest problem to have, right? Like, your team is good and it's so good that you're struggling to find minutes for everybody. I think, so, you know, I'm happy about that.
Right.
Good morning, Rex.
How you doing? Y'all can hear me? I'm audible?
Yeah.
I got an echo now.
So as far as Yabu, I speak French. I'm Moroccan. I checked out some Knicks French spaces. What they say, which I don't necessarily agree with, is y'all remember how, like, last season they kind of maligned Tibbs as, oh, he has the corner bitch position. I don't know how Freezy feels about cursing, but the guy who just sits in the corner and spaces the floor basically was like a thing that Tibbs had. So they were saying that, oh, Yabusele needs the ball more. He needs to operate more at the top of the key. He needs this, he needs that. Look, I'm all for giving guys more playing time, but from what I've seen, Yabu is playing more than all those young guys. And every game I see him, either he hits a 3 or he bricks. Even if he hits it, he gets scored on the other end. He definitely can't play the 5, which is what I kind of feel like he was brought here to do, which was a big misfire in that regard. And as far as the 4, he's slow. He's just slow. He doesn't have height. He doesn't have pop. The athleticism isn't there. When they signed him, I was thinking he's going to be transition offense monster, like posting people up and using his strength to dunk on people. That's what I imagine. He's going to have some huge dunks at MSG. That's what I was thinking in my head. And he comes here and he's like a slow floor spacer that can't even space the floor, you know? And even like his shooting motion is slow. Like his actual time it takes him to shoot is it takes him a while, you know? So I don't hate on this guy. Like, believe me, there's nobody who wants like African origin, French speaking players to thrive on this team more than me. But I see him come in 8 to 10 minutes a game. Maybe he hits a 3, maybe he doesn't. He gets, like, even in the Utah Jazz game right at the end, he was in there with Clarkson. They almost lost. The starters had to come back in.
Yeah. But that's not just because of them, though. That's because Mo Diawara entered and damn near gave the game away at the end.
Right.
He made like 3 mistakes back to back to back.
So to that point,
yeah.
So to that point,
but you also needed your veterans, Yabusele and Clarkson, to stem the tide, and they couldn't.
Right. So look, if you're against Utah's third stringers in garbage time and you can't be like positive, then that's as a veteran, that's a bad sign, you know. And
absolutely.
Clarkson is not a good defender. I mean, he tries. I'm not anti-Clarkson. I like him, but I feel like there's certain times where he has to have a short leash. If he comes in and bricks everything and he's not defending, then maybe it's not the night for him. You know, he's a guy that's like streaky. As far as Diawara, so I like him. I think he's a good player, but I think people they look at these raw guys and they don't look at like their scouting reports. They don't look at like their weaknesses and strengths. Like Diawara is not a good shooter right now. He's good in the paint. He can operate in the paint really well. That's kind of why I like Hukporti and Diawara, because they'll definitely defend. Those two are huge defending. And then, you know, they can have a little transition, you know, give and go kind of thing. But they're not spacing. And he's not a good free throw shooter. And also one thing that I think he needs to work on, which there's different reasons for it, but in Europe, he had a very weirdly low level of shot blocks for a guy his height and wingspan. He actually doesn't block many shots. And you could say maybe he's discouraging people from the attempt or this or that. But I saw him a few times, like he goes maybe like a step slow, which is obviously not an athleticism thing. He's just not anticipating.
Process.
Exactly. But he clearly has the tools, but his actual production of shot blocking is not good. I still think he should get playing time, but I'm just telling you, we have for example, Dink Pate. He's a very bad defender. If you actually watch the G League games, does it mean he can never learn to defend well? No. But he's also very inefficient. So we look at the 137-point game. Mind you, I want this guy in a two-way spot. I want him here. I believe in him long term.
Right.
But he has one game where he'll shoot 37 points, and another game where he'll go 1 of 8 for 3 and have 8 turnovers.
Right.
So he's in the place where he needs to be right now, but we need to be realistic and not just cherry pick. You know, even as much as people shit on Pacome, he's the one in the G League who has the best 3-point percentage currently. Right. Are there other aspects of his game that need to be worked on? 100%.
Right.
But we need to look at the whole picture. That was mostly what I came up here to say.
I thought you came up here to say hello.
Oh, also hello. Hello to everybody.
The rude ass. You just go here and start talking. Right. So yeah, man. Listen. I appreciate that. I think the Dadier thing. I think Dadier is I think he's got the potential to be the best defender on the roster, including Mitch, including OG, and including Bridges. And the reason why I say that is because there are raw.
Who are you talking about? I'm sorry. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I think Pacome Dadier has the potential to be the best defender on the roster. And it's because there are innate defensive instincts that go along with being an NBA defender. Like some defenders are created in a lab, like Kobe Bryant was a terrible defender, and he spent summers getting better. Klay Thompson was a terrible defender going into Washington State, but spent summers of doing slides and all these things to become a great defender over time, to the point where he was an elite 3-and-D defender, right? Because of work, right? The thing with Pacome Dadier is some of these things his body does naturally for him, right? Like keeping the safe distance, the safeguarding distance and things of that, and then closing with both hands up. Like these small things, like when you watch Pacome Dadier on film, you're like, oh man, he don't score. But neither to are y'all familiar with the guy Toumani Camara in Portland?
Definitely.
Great player, by the way.
Great player.
Right. But he didn't start out that way.
Right.
He started out as a raw, moldable piece of clay that was molded into this thing. And it took several years of patience with Portland to get him to this place. Right. Right. And so when I look at the defensive wings, I'm not saying Mo Diawara is not going to get there. What I'm saying is I haven't seen it, and I probably need to see more. But when I watch Pacome Dadier, I can see him do certain things naturally. Now, here's the thing. You can't be a 6'8" defender only in the NBA. You have to offer up certain other things to get on an NBA floor. Like even if you don't score, you have to be able to help an offense stay efficient offensively, right? Like even if you're not a ball handler or scorer, you still have to maintain spacing on the floor so your star players that do score can still operate without getting double teamed or facing exotic defenses while said wing defender is on. It's the reason why Matisse Thybulle is not a heavy rotation player right now, because he's all defense, but the offense may not be there. Y'all remember the draft pick Killian Hayes? You remember Killian Hayes? Anybody remember him from the Pistons? Drafted right in front of
Hayes from Detroit.
From Detroit, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. He should have been the running partner with Cade Cunningham, but he's all defense with no offense. And if you're in those positions, you legitimately can't be on the floor, right? And so the thing is with Hakeem Dadier right now, he has to get confidence in his offensive game in order to be, because right now, like what I'm saying about Dadier is in 2 years, he'll be the best defender on the roster, right? What I'm saying right now, though, he's probably the third best defender. Like he's not as good as OG. He's not as good as Bridges. And right now, I'm not for sure what I'm watching with Mitch. I think Mitch has some type of thing prohibiting him from being the elite level Mitch from last year. Go ahead, bro.
I want to say, if you actually look at the effective field goal percentage metrics, he's actually top 5 on the team currently, which is in limited minutes, yes, but it's not, you know what I'm saying? I will say that I kind of feel like a little bit, because he knows how to score. That's like for sure. He knows how to get points. But I think it's a little bit like I don't think Tyler Kolek's a good defender, but I think he's such a smart PG that when he's defending other PGs, sometimes he knows what they're going to do before they do. So when he plays like good ball denial defense,
right,
he knows what a PG wants to do in that situation a lot of the time.
Right.
Even if he hasn't defended that particular PG, you know? So it's like when I think about how he's trying to like reverse engineer how to become a good defender, and you suddenly see him have like a good play doing ball denial, it's like he probably knows where that guy wants to move the ball more than even that guy does or before he does, you know? And he also has a good defensive rating on the team. He has like 115 defensive rating, which is fine for PG, you know?
Right. Wait a minute, who are you talking about?
The defensive rating and the defense of PGs is Tyler Kolek.
Okay, Tyler Kolek is who you're referencing. Okay. Right.
But by no means an elite defender, but I'm just saying he is able to hold up PG.
Right. Yeah. So he's a serviceable NBA defender, is what I'm hearing, and that's basically what we need. So, and then plus, even though his minutes are sparse and unpredictable, they are quality NBA minutes.
Definitely quality NBA minutes, 100%.
Right.
And getting better. And
my thing that I've seen with him is he has synergy with Cat already. Like I've seen a few games, maybe it's my bias or my eyes that are betraying me, but in the Charlotte game, the NBA, I don't know if the NBA Cup, before NBA Cup. So the Charlotte game, the Brooklyn game, and the game that just passed, even though it was only 5 minutes, he didn't have an assist. I just saw him come into the game, and it was like a Energizer battery got put into Cat's back. Like whether he was feeding him or the defensive intensity and this is not quantifiable, but something about the energy changed, and it just, now I'm, something just shifted. I don't know how to quantify that,
Keep your hands up because this guy's willing to pass, basically.
Yeah, something. Or
keep your eyes open because he's going to hit through the needle to get to you. I promise you that.
Right.
He really is our only real PG on the team. So.
Right.
But you were talking about Dadier for a bit there, and I wanted to finish on what you were saying. So you're saying that once he learns, what specifically were you finishing saying on that? Once he learns how to do what?
I think he needs to be more aggressive offensively, attacking driving lanes and a set defense, which creates opportunities for himself and for corner shooters. He has to be able to do that. The handle to me is no problem with Dadier. I'm comfortable with his functional handle. right? Because he doesn't have to sauce up, and we don't need. Would it be a value add? Yes, but we don't need Dadier with saucy handles so that he can ISO, because we don't live in a world where we're going to depend on Pacom Dadier to ISO to score, right? But if we're talking about attacking the seam of a defense and collapsing the defense so that you could get your floater off or kick out to 3-point shooters, we have to have it. We have to have it because it creates spacing on the floor and creates open shots for others.
So
the defensive part, my only beef with him defensively is Dadier at 6'8", 6'9", whatever his height is. Mm-hmm. He has to play true to size, right? He has to play true to size. He's got to play like a extra large human being. He's got to do that. Because in my mind, I think he plays right now as if he's a defensive guard, and he probably is. He's probably a defensive guard even at his height, right? But even if you're a defensive guard, you still have to use your God-given gifts and use them in an exploitive way to dominate your opponents, right? If you're 6'9", play like it, right? That's basically what I'm saying with Dadier. And I'm not saying that he's soft. What I'm saying is that Pacom Dadier is taller than Mo Diawara. Pacom Dadier is almost Porty's height, right? But he's a wing player, right? And so in that place where, you know what I'm saying, this guy is a jumbo wing, Dadier, bro, you got to play like it. And I know Dadier's young. So Mo Diawara, they get the utmost slack from me. Dink Pate, they get a long runway from me. When they make mistakes, I'm like, so what? They're young, right? When Kolik makes mistakes, I'm like, bro, you played 5 years of college, and this is your second year in the NBA, right? And it doesn't seem fair, but these are facts, right? These are facts.
Not fair though, because he ain't played last year.
But he played 5 years of Big East. He played 5 years of high-level college basketball.
That's not NBA basketball. So I feel like it's not. It's a little unfair. But I hear you. Go ahead.
That's not unfair. This guy is experienced. Because think about the little things that I'm referring to, right? What I'm saying is Tyler Kolek has 5 years of being in collegiate weight rooms, 5 years of travel, 5 years of playing against elite opponents, right? 5 years of running point guard at an elite level, right? Dadier 5 years ago was 15 years old. Mo Diawara 5 years ago was 15 years old.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm drawing the line of distinction. I'm saying this is
between him and them. I bet. Never mind. Okay, I agree.
Yeah,
I get it.
But I'm just like, I'm having them in different groups. I'm not comparing them to each other. So there's Group A, and then there's Group B, and both groups are being judged on the group they're in, and not being judged as a collective.
I did want to add on to that because I think it's fair, because if you look at what is more similar to the NBA system we actually run, it is for sure college basketball
right,
than Europe. It's not to say one is better than the other. There's different principles, But for example, a lot of people, when we were searching for a coach, people said Jay Wright, who has never coached in the NBA, but most people wouldn't have been, oh my God, Jay, what an outlet. It's like a fair thing to suggest that a college basketball coach can coach in the NBA because it's fairly simple, different, obviously, but the line is the same. I mean, also people forget, like Mo Diawara and Pacom Dadier are used to a different three-point line. They're used to a completely different style of play with different rules, even.
Right.
Like even where the center can't hang under the rim, they don't have that in Europe. So they actually have to work differently in terms of team schemes to open the offense.
Right.
I will say that, to your point, like it is kind of a knock historically on French players that they're too selfless. They do need to be more selfish.
Right.
But I kind of look at it as like, okay, look at the class that these guys came from. Zachary Sachet was the number 1 pick last year. Yeah. Pacom Dadier played him in the professional league and beat him, beat his team. Tijon Salon, Toumani Camara. Like, how many good French players came out of that same draft class? Alex Sarr now is hooping. So they all come from the same pedigree.
Right.
To me, it's like, how can all of them be good and then these guys are bad? Which is, we're not trying to say good or bad, but I'm just saying, like, there's clearly a good foundation there, but they all need to work on being more selfish to get their own buckets.
Right.
You know, and not defer to others as much.
Right. Right.
But I mean, you also add in the fact that that Kolik has played in all those years in the Big East. You know,
he played at MSG even.
Yeah, on tough things. And on that point that you just made with Jay Wright, you take a look at like Billy Donovan, right? Billy Donovan came in from the Gators, and I think they gave him the Oklahoma at first,
Right.
And he's still around. I think he's in Chicago now. And yeah, I hear you. There's different levels to a lot of different to each sport, each way they're played. Europe plays a different. Different leagues play everything different. Right. The one commonality is basketball, right? So you could find a way to assimilate yourself because you play basketball,
right?
And that's my opinion on that. Like, okay, you might not. The three may be a little bit over here. Then this, Euro step is more than, and the rules might be a little different. But in one way or another, it's still basketball.
But Ben, you made a great point. Even talking about the Euro step, that was a move that people like mocked and said was silly when it first came into the league, and now every player does it. We can also learn from them because they have a completely different perspective than us. Maybe they know something or have a different insight into how the game can be played than us because they come from a different system. Who knows? Right. I find that when you teach people, you also often learn yourself,
Right.
Definitely. In order to be a leader, you got to follow one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so the thing is with both those guys, I think our mindset should be for both those guys is remember these guys are in transition, super young, headed to a championship level team. Because because in theory, if the Knicks were in the same place as the Washington Wizards, Hakeem Dadier and Mo Diawara may be starters right now.
Not maybe.
And playing through mistakes.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. But they're not in that situation. They're in a situation where they may be blocked for a long time because of Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Right. And to me, that's a good thing for 20-year-olds to be blocked, to be sheltered from mistakes and losing. Because one of the things that hurts the development of young players is losing and a lack of high leverage games, right? When you don't play high leverage games, you don't get better because you never know what your ceiling is. Like your perceived ceiling is one thing, but your actual ceiling is something else. You don't know if you can get to the next level until you get to the level and can't break through. But once you get to that level and you can break through it, the ceiling that you had for yourself is not the ceiling, not your actual ceiling. It's the same thing with Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was drafted as a second-round pick, backup guard for a team that was trying to find its way. Fortune had it that Dallas had injuries, and Jalen Brunson was forced to play to find out what his ceiling was in high leverage games. And most of the time, he broke through those ceilings. There were times where they had to bench him, right? They benched him, but he learned from it, right? They benched him, he learned from it. And when you look at what you have today, a 29-year-old Brunson is very different than what he could have been in Dallas.
If he got stuck in, right, because even so, then he still would never become, unless they shot him over to the 2, he still would have been bench Brunson, and then Urban comes in, he still would have been bench Brunson. So yeah, that's 100%.
Yeah.
I wanted to add on to Freezy's point because he actually played a lot in his rookie year in Dallas because of injuries. So they had to find out earlier who he was and what they had. And if you remember the summer league, so people was not to say it was a great summer league from Kolek, but if you look at the disastrous summer league that Jalen Brunson had, it was actually worse by the numbers than Kolek's. But what? That's supposed to mean Jalen Brunson can't play basketball? No. But I think people only look at the finished product or a recency bias. They don't see some of the potential. And that, like, when some of our guys are doing elite things, even in their young, early season, and we're discrediting that, I don't like that because everybody in the roster is a Knick to me. And I don't like when people look at, like, Cat, he has one bad defensive game in December, and people forget that he won off playoff games 8 months ago. Literally just by, I'm going to win a playoff game right now, and nobody could stop me. Like, we all saw it. We all saw it with our own 2 eyes, and we had to forget because he had a bad defensive game last night, And last season, when Kolek had to step in for Jalen Brunson at the end, he had the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the NBA in that month. Right. He had a better assist-to-turnover ratio than Halliburton. And even this season, he's been in the top 10 around. I think he had one rough game, but he's still top 25 in the NBA right now, even with a rough game that he just had with no assists in terms of his assist-to-turnover ratio. And Huck Porty is 98th percentile in the NBA in shot blocking. He's the best shot blocker on the team, period. Right. He's technically the 5th best shot blocker in the NBA, even with Wemby, 10 blocks per game or whatever the hell.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he's not even comparable,
Per quarter.
But when our guys are actually doing elite things, like, you should credit them and give them a little bit of kudos and grace. And I do think there's a bit of a double standard for some of these younger guys because let's not act like these are the only guys on the team missing defensive rotations. I mean, Jordan Clarkson, every game guaranteed, even if he's putting in effort, he's just doesn't stick with his man sometimes. It still weighs out positive the negative most of the time. Right. Josh Hart gets caught sleeping defensively. Does that mean it's a bad player? No. But, like, you have to look at the overall picture. Of course, they should all not make mistakes. We can all agree. Josh Hart gets caught sleeping on a backdoor cut sometimes. We've seen it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's a bad player. No, but he has also should work on that. But at the same time, the overall picture of Josh Hart, especially if he's shooting 40% from 3, is good.
Right.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, you have to be a little bit more. Like, for the one game I use as the example of this, and I'll land my plane. Sorry, is like the Bucks game, the first Bucks game that we lost. Like, in that game, Huck Porty was tasked with guarding Giannis his first time ever guarding him in the NBA, 10 minutes maybe, and he was a -8. And people, he's shaky, whatever. He was a -10. Sorry, he was a -10. OG was a -8, and Mikal. No, I got it wrong. OG -6, Huck Porty -8, Mikal -10. So he was a little worse than OG, but better than Mikal. And because of that, he was benched out. He was benched the next game. Even in the Miami game that he was shaky, he was a +1, and Bam Adebayo didn't score well on him. He actually, if you look at how Bam Adebayo scored, he did not score. I only looked at that last night. So he fumbled a couple passes. Agreed, mistakes.
Right.
But first of all, Mitch and Cat both struggle against Bam Adebayo. Always, he's a very tough matchup for our team. He's just a good player. The very next game without him, they were both like a -4, I think, against him.
Right.
And he had one game, literally this simple, one shaky game against Miami where he was still a +1, and one game where it was first time ever in the NBA you're guarding Giannis, and Giannis, you don't clamp Giannis, so you're benched. Like, that's not a reasonable expectation. It's not like anybody else on the team did much better guarding Giannis one-on-one, even with experience, than him, but he's the one that gets benched because he couldn't clamp up Giannis. His first time, it's not a reasonable expectation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No doubt. What I will say, though, to y'all is this. I think I was trying to get it in. I think I may have. Basically, what it boils down to is, as much as we want people to see things our way, human beings are going to have biases. So even if you give data, or if you give video evidence of each, or if you argue reasonably on both sides, our biases are going to have us lean one way or the other. Like, for instance, like, I feel like the French invasion is a real thing, right? I feel like it's the future of NBA basketball, at least in the short term. At least in the short term, like these next 4 to 5 years is the French invasion, right? There are going to be some people that have biases against French and Euro players because of their experience with Frederick Weiss and Frank Ntilikina, right? And no matter what you say about these French players being talented, their biases are going to have them in a place where they're just going to have these biases because those are their innate biases, right? And so I understand where y'all are coming from, and I appreciate the fact that we're even exploring this part of the conversation. I would suggest, though, with this stuff, I just say speak to the masses and not one or two people, right? Because the masses may miss something when we're reaching out to the folks. Like trying to convince the folks that are not convinced is like watering your lawn in the rain, bro. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing with this resource right here?
Like coming up with some stuff too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna I'm not gonna convince Sherwin that Cat is a great player, right? I'm not gonna convince David Smith that Jalen Brunson is a great point guard, right? I'm not gonna convince certain people in the chat about certain things, but what I'd like to do is add fodder to the conversation to have a more robust conversation in general, right? And then people on all sides add what they want to add as counterbalances and counterlevers to the topics that we speak about, which drives the conversation forward, right? So, I mean, like legitimately, when we get here and talk about data, like data, or with me, I like to talk about the basketball aspect. And I know I bore people to sleep with it. I'm like, the reason why Huck Porty doesn't score more points is because when he drives to the lane, he does not present himself to the ball handler, right? That's what I see on tape. Huck Porty sets the screen, and he doesn't present himself to the ball handler. Well, the reason why that is not because Huck Porty's a dummy. He's done this thing so many times. He knows the ball handler 98% of the time is not going to pass him the ball anyway, but he can be effective getting on the offensive glass, right? And so when you watch the film, you're like, hey, this dude ain't even presenting himself to the ball. Like he's not even showing the ball handler his. Like if I'm rolling in a scenario where Docosaurus Rex is the ball handler and he's on this right side of the lane, and I'm giving him enough space to pass to me on the left side of the lane, he has to see me open. He has to see New York or Knicks across my chest to even think about passing, right? Because if there's a defender between us, he's not even thinking about passing that, right? Yeah. But when you watch Mitchell Robinson and Huck Porty do that, you're like, they're not even cutting. So the defense doesn't even have to respect the roll man, right? Don't even have to respect the roll man. At the same time, when they do that, it makes us a great offensive rebounding team. So it's like these little things that's like nuanced things that you can't really grab or extrapolate from the data that we have. It's the on-court stuff that you know what I'm saying, we look at like, do the Knicks value a potential dunk at the rim or a Jalen Brunson mid-range shot? Right now, we value a Jalen Brunson mid-range shot versus a Mitchell Robinson dunk attempt at the rim or an Ariel Huck Porty floater at the rim right now. And quite frankly, we all should, because right now, Jalen Brunson is a better and more proven offensive player than the roll man that is sent in the paint to distract the defenders from coming out and doubling Jalen Brunson. If that makes sense, everybody, if we didn't get too basketball-y right there.
I mean, can I add on to that?
No problem.
Yeah, well, no, I wanted to say, like, so Huck Porty in Australia, he was an elite lob threat. And that's not to say that, of course, it translates one-to-one. So Australia, LaMelo Ball, a lot of good players do come from there, whatever. So Mitch, like for example, one thing that they did, which I really liked, is that they had, my interpretation at least, they had Huckporty go to Westchester and only focus on scoring. He shot 4 threes. Actually, I don't know if you guys saw that, and they've been working on him for shooting threes. And Mitch, yes, he can dunk, he can do this and that, but Mitch, we see him in the offseason with the 3-point shooting videos, but is he ever going to, not that Huckporty is Steph, but Mitch taking a 3 or Huckporty taking a 3? You know what I'm saying? Huck is probably going to.
I never want to see a video of Mitch shooting threes. I want to see it.
So remember in the preseason, Mike Brown said, we're going to do Mitch 3 lobs a game. They should throw him lobs more, but also his hands is not good. Huck is a little bit better in that regard. He can be more of a scoring threat. And you have to think about it not as like, he's going to go and drop 50 points on somebody one day, but 10, 15 points. Now they're thinking differently about the spacing. Now they really have to take his role seriously, the vertical spacing as well as the horizontal spacing.
Yep.
They have to start looking out like, is he going to, lob? It starts giving them another layer. So he also can just drive. I also don't understand why that's not a thing. Cat does it. I would say Huckporty is as strong, probably if not as stronger than Cat. His touch is obviously nowhere near as good. Let's be real. But to just drive and dunk, I mean, fuck, Huckporty can do that. I mean, Tibbs had more dunks for this guy than Mike Brown. That was one thing he did know how to scheme on the offense. We saw it last season. They had a lot. He actually scored decently in a lot of games. Right. So I think he will never be as good of a rebounder as Mitch. Nobody will.
Nobody.
No. But he's just expecting him to put up 15 rebounds. Even like Cat is not number 1 in the NBA for rebounding, by the way. Which is even another thing. Like Josh Hart, Mitch, and Cat in the same lineup is a redundant amount of rebounding. 3 of the best rebounders in the NBA on one lineup.
In one lineup, right.
You know what I'm saying? The skill power of that can be distributed a little bit better. Huck is not as good a rebounder. He's a little more offensively better than Mitch. He could pass. He could score. Him, you could throw some lobs too. And that's the thing. You don't have to be so accurate. Just chuck it up there, bro. He's huge. He's a 7-foot reach. Doesn't have to be wide open. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that as a team. Mikal does here and there. Mikal even throw a lob to Mitch, but whatever. I'm blabbing. But you see what I'm saying, that the offensive end there, he's not going to go and beat a team 50 points by himself, but it can change up how the other team is defending in a way that now JB has more room in the paint, yada, yada, ipso facto, blah.
Right. Hey, y'all, I got to wrap up. I have a meeting at 1 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for coming through and hanging out with us, man.
My bad. I was yapping. Sorry.
No. 1 o'clock is 1 o'clock, bro. It ain't got nothing to do. Like, you can't, even though I value your points, you can't change time, bro. You're not that powerful. The clock is the clock, bro.
So, and there ain't enough of it, right? And there ain't enough of it every day.
Never enough time in a day.
Right. So I appreciate that. But I got to get this money. So thank y'all for coming through and hanging out, man. It was a delightful conversation. I appreciate everybody's contribution to the show. The Knicks at Night podcast soon come 11 p.m. We're going to get through. Maybe we can continue this conversation there. I'm just going to say peace to everybody. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Help us continue to grow. Our goal, our short-term goal is 80,000 subscribers, man. We're trying to get there the best we can. If y'all can help us get there, we appreciate all of that. And it's not 80,000 because we need a number. It's 80,000 because we want to expand our footprint in this Knicks universe and reach out to more people and have reasonable basketball takes and have more people in this community. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. Peace, everybody.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me